Dawson Rider Review.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with my review of BCR Series 06, LionCleaner. This is a very interesting form. I mean, in general, builds forms are pretty interesting. I think we all have to agree. I mean, our base form is Rabbit Tank here, people. But this is a lion and a vacuum cleaner. It's like if Auric decided to, not the Conqueror, but the vacuum cleaner. I think there's a vacuum cleaner called Auric. Might be the Mandela effect. But like a vacuum company, like all of a sudden mated with Ra-Tora-Ta combo from O's. I think it's really interesting. It's a form I first thought was really stupid, but it's actually become one of my favorites now, in a similar fashion to like Pine Arms, where it's so ridiculous it's kind of awesome. But that's enough about my personal life. I'm only just going to go over one part of the box, which is showing a few of the combos off, since I usually go pretty boring with showing combos off, because I'm a very boring guy. But so you got just like an example of some of the ones you can do there with the other stuff in the line, and just kind of advertises other stuff in the line like that. But there's not really very many, or by very many I mean at all, lion combos. But you get the picture for these. And if you're watching this review, you're either familiar with the reviews of these, or you're familiar with the line. So these figures are overall pretty decent, and I think this one is pretty solid in terms of looks. Again, my main complaint about these is just that the head can't move, which I think that they could have very easily fulfilled just by making it a separate piece. That's really my only complaint. Otherwise, these pretty much hold up as pretty solid, you know, midway substitutes between a Power Rangers 5-inch action figure and a figure art. They're just held back this year by the head articulation. But I did want to call out that I think this one in particular looks pretty good in some instances. Like, for the head sculpt, speaking of the head sculpt, both the vacuum side and the lion side have a nice shine to it. I think the camera's picking that up pretty well. The lion will get a little bit dull over here, and it makes it have some discrepancies, which kind of annoys me, but it's also got a bit of a shine to it in certain parts, which looks really good. The vacuum portion here also has, that's such a weird thing, the vacuum portion also has a nice shine to it, so I think it looks pretty good. But again, you get kind of dull over here when you get to the vacuum part. Like, look how ridiculous this is. You do have vacuum articulation, which I think this is the first time I've ever had vacuum articulation on a figure. But otherwise, they're pretty decently articulated, sans the head, and then obviously the chest because of the way it works. And I can live with the chest. That sounded weird, but you know, because it makes sense with the larger transformation. But it is what it is. You got those fun little finger joints there. I'm going to go really boring for the only swap I'm going to show. I'm going to do Rabbit Tank, partly because I'm lazy, and partly because I brought Rabbit Tank out for another review, and I noticed that my display had fallen over, and his antenna bent, and I'll mention this in the review he's going to be in. So just be careful of that. Not only is this going to take a while to get back to normal, but it could break off, so I just wanted to use that as a cautionary tale. So let me split this guy apart, and we'll do Rabbit Cleaner. There we go. That one's not bad. It almost looks like Rabbit Tank in a way just because of the similar color schemes. So you got Rabbit Cleaner. You can cough up fur balls and then clean them up. I don't know if rabbits even cough up fur balls, but that just seems like a correct bit. And then you have Lion Tank, which is just pretty badass, you have to admit. I mean, it's a lion and it's a tank, so that's pretty cool. That actually looks pretty neat. It's like the blue and the gold. It looks really neat. I like it a lot, actually. But as you can see, there is fun to be had with mixing and matching, getting combos that you might see in the show, but they'll never do a figure art for because they're just not as popular, and possibly some combos they just never get around to. So that is the main draw of this line, and I in a way, I kind of hate filming these because all my points are the same. They're decent looking, but they're just held back by that one bit of head articulation, but there's fun to be had in the mismatching. Anyway, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Dawson Rider, signing out.